Yeah, it's been quite a week. I didn't realize Riley Martin was co-hosting, and it's been a week in UFOs. That's all we'll say. But I can't wait to hear what news breaks today, Rico. No, I wanted to start the show and kind of, I don't know, button up yesterday, which was a crazy day in sports with the merger between the PGA and the LIV Tour. And I have something that I thought was absolutely fascinating. And if you're a fan of television, I will tell you that one of, I think, the best villainous characters in the last decade of TV was based off of the person I'm going to tell you right now. And this person helped get this merger done. That for all the talk about Jay Monahan, PGA commissioner, the whole bit, somebody else played a key role. Bit of a shadowy figure. You ever hear the name Jimmy Dunn? Let me tell you a little bit about Jimmy Dunn, and then I'll tell you who he's based off of. And this is going to end up as...
That's the name I couldn't Google. Gotcha.
Jimmy Dunn.
Gotcha.
D-U-N-N-E. So Jimmy Dunn is a guy who is into acquisitions, had a financial firm. That financial firm's home office was the World Trade Center. Jimmy Dunn, the only reason he wasn't at work on 9/11, he was trying to qualify. He was playing in a qualifier for the PGA Tour. Jimmy Dunn's office blew up in the World Trade Center. Jimmy Dunn helped seal this deal. He was one of two people that met with the Saudis. Now, mind you, when Jay Monahan brought up 9/11 a year ago, when LIV was created, talking about how you've never had to apologize for playing in the PGA, the guy that gets tapped to lead the negotiations, his office was in the World Trade Center, and he, if it wasn't for playing in a qualifier, would have been in said office on 9/11. Jimmy Dunn brokered this deal with the PIF. Okay?
Okay.
Do you know what character Jimmy Dunn inspired? Show that takes place in New York. Show that starred Paul Giamatti. Ready? Here's the name. Bobby Axelrod.
Yeah.
Billions. Bobby Axelrod is based on Jimmy Dunn.
You serious?
Serious. Now, here's why I bring this up besides it's super interesting. Whether it's the morning show, middays, or our show yesterday, when people call up saying, I'm not going to watch anymore, I want you to think about something. The people that you thought you were supporting, the PGA, virtuous, we're not going to do business with the Saudis, we're not going to sports wash, right? Your team Rory. By the way, I've got some Rory McIlroy audio where this guy is out in space. But I want you to think about something. Those people, the guy who got the deal done, it's not Jay Monahan talking about 9/11. It's a guy whose office for his firm was in the World Trade Center. And he should have been in that building, but he was at a qualifier. That guy still went to the negotiating table and got the deal done. So I want you to just think about something now, okay? The people at the top will do whatever it takes to get deals done, whether it is the PGA LIV merger, whether it is NFL ownership, whether it's what we've seen locally, nationally, what you have to do to get public dollars for a stadium, who you need to do business with, players you need to sign. How about Kevin Warren going rogue, promising multiple TV networks, multiple things, then leaving for a gig, and the Big Ten's got to figure it out? Here's what it all comes back to. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about us. No league, no commissioner, no owner, no team cares about the fan. So when you call a radio station saying, I'm no longer going to what? Yes, you are, and they don't care because someone else will. Jimmy Dunn went to the negotiating table. Jay Monahan had this guy go in knowing what Jay Monahan said publicly about, basically saying, I'm not doing business with people who are affiliated, behind, responsible for, funded, whatever you want to say about 9/11. Jimmy Dunn said, hold my beer. My office was in the World Trade Center, and I should have been at work that day, but I was in a qualifier. I'll go get the deal done. Think about that. So my point is, there is no morality. The morality is to the dollar, and you don't have to like it. But it's the reason Rico and I sat here when all these players took the money and said, what are you going to do? Somebody offers you the money, you take it. Tomorrow, if Putin offered Rico afternoon drive in Moscow for $10 billion a year, I got news for you. Rico's getting Rosetta Stone and learning to speak Russian. Maybe you could talk UFOs, 2 to 6, St. Petersburg.
Net.
But I was blown away as details emerged. And I thought there were things much more interesting than just players being angry at Monahan. Again, water wet. Rory whining. I'll get you the audio in a minute. How about Jimmy Dunn? You believe that one?
Wow.
Can you imagine, though? Your office was in the World Trade Center. If it was a regular day and not you at a qualifier, you don't exist.
Correct.
And you walked to the table and he got that deal done.
Yeah, once again, it just goes to prove it's about money.
And Bobby Axelrod gets the deal done.
It's just money. And
crazy.
You don't care about anything else because, speaking of 9/11, like I was actually a part of it. You knew your office is gone. You knew people who are gone, and you still said, all right, let's go make some money.
So my point is, if the people at the top don't care, why do you? No one cares about you, right? We're all in this as fans. I'm under no illusion. We talk college football. They don't care about us. They don't care about anything a guy like me likes. Right?
No, they hate you. It seems like it.
But I know it. I understand it. And you can say you don't like it. I'm still going to watch. You can say you don't like what the PGA did. You're still watching. A guy called in earlier today. I think it was on the morning show. Well, I'm done, except I'm watching the majors.
Well, even if you say you're done, newsflash, you're still paying for it.
Correct.
All those cable channels that you subscribe to, they don't care if you don't ever turn them on or not. Every month, you're paying for it.
Exactly. So I just thought it was the most interesting tidbit that came out of yesterday, after the fallout, after the shock, after all of it, that this shadowy figure, this Jimmy Dunn, and I believe he's the chairman at Seminole Golf Course, which is one of the elite courses in America. Like you don't join, they invite you.
Is this the course you got to take the helicopter to?
Damn near. But and the TV thing, if you've never seen the show Billions, I understand Bobby Axelrod doesn't mean anything to you. If you have seen the show, it's a fun tidbit. But it just shows you at the top. Any of you guys who want to apply morality to sports, forget about it. Because you want to bet morality, I'll raise you Jimmy Dunn. All right? So that's how the sausage got made on this. So you do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, I don't begrudge anyone who says, well, I'm still watching golf. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, at some point, guys, I have bad news for you. This fund, the Saudi investment fund, has almost $700 billion in it. Okay? If they wanted to buy the NFL, they could. If they want to buy your favorite team, they will.
The thing is,
they have turned their attention to sports and the investment angle of sports. Now, I'm just saying, at a certain point, I think this is going to hit a lot closer to home for somebody somewhere in an American city.
Right. Because I know some leagues are saying, no, you can't sell. And I think I was talking to Kenny this morning, and I'm like, well, all you need to do is just come up with You're in the background, you front somebody, you come up with some figure that no one can say no to. And, all of a sudden you get a famous athlete, not saying this is happening, but you get a Tom Brady
but let me make
to be your front guy.
But let me make a point. People aren't happy with owners in this town, okay?
Right.
So the FIP, the Saudi Investment Fund, bought Newcastle United, Premier League. Newcastle is going to be impossible to compete with for players. Doesn't matter how big the money is, whatever oligarch owns another team, whatever other singular figure from the Middle East owns a team, whatever Chinese money owns a team, whatever American, the Glazers, they own a team. Doesn't matter. The Saudi fund will blow you out of the water. Okay? So here's my point. Are Newcastle fans going to stop watching their team?
No.
So if the Saudi investment fund came to town and bought the Tigers, you're not going to root for your team anymore? See, my point to you is, whether your team is owned by the Saudi investment fund or Jimmy Haslam or random owner blank, the idea that somehow you're supporting a virtuous operation and not a cutthroat business where nobody wants to know the sausage made from most places, that's where I just want to arrive at with people. We have to let go.
Right. You feel better about yourself because if they bought the Tigers, well, I'm never going to do that. Okay, you feel better telling all your friends you made this stand and you drew an artificial line in
Meanwhile,
the sand.
if they bought the Tigers, they have a $300 million payroll.
And I was about to say,
and you'd be competing for the World Series every year.
You may actually start watching the Tigers because now all of a sudden, okay, let's go get Ohtani. Let's go get this person.
Yeah, you know what? Ohtani's going to get $600 million.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
Newcastle, in their first year being owned by this fund, qualified for the Champions League. And the common thread throughout Europe is going to be they're going to be a nightmare. To the way that Man City was when they were purchased in a new infusion of cash. This is $650 billion. It's unspeakable.
With the B.
They could take $1 billion per player for their starting 11. It would be a pack of gum.
Wouldn't miss it.
They could have 11 Messis if 11 Messis existed.
That's ridiculous.
It wouldn't matter. So, Jimmy Dunn, the story, I thought it was interesting. If you have ticket text you want to send in, feel free. I just thought it was the most intriguing piece of all that fallout. I'll get you the Rory stuff next because you want to hear a guy.
No. The fact that, you're right. They could spend $11 billion.
What does it matter?
And it was nothing.
You know what the interest is on $651 billion? Buddy, it don't matter.
Wow.
They can make north of 1% a year.
But when you say I'm protesting this, you feel good. Remember all the people who said they were never going to watch the NFL again?
Correct.
How'd that work?
No, that's my point. So I thought it was interesting. You guys could do whatever you want with it. I'll get you the Rory sound because he's still whining. I got to play it for you. And then we have Coaches Uncensored. I've got a quote from an anonymous coach about every Big Ten team. Rico, Kenny, Paul, Sarah, they're all going to grade the truthfulness. We'll do that bottom of the hour.